So sales is all about helping the other person on the other side of the deal. But sometimes we can forget about that. Luckily, we have Chris Duprey here with us, the sales master, to tell us about 3 common pitfalls when selling and how to overcome those problems. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Good, man.
Yeah, thanks for being with us here today, and we are excited to learn from you. Could you tell us a little bit about problem number 1 when it comes to selling that people experience?
So listen, the first problem that most sales folks have is this innate desire to win the deal. Now, here's the thing. You have to have that internal desire, right? You have to be hungry, out for the kill. And you can't come off as needy. And we've all seen what a needy salesperson looks like. They say things like, well, what do I have to do to get this across the finish line? They say things like, hey, I can offer you this huge discount because it's the end of the quarter, right? As a buyer, you're sitting there like, oh my God, they're so needy. So a couple of things happen. You either disregard them and their service because it must not be very good if their sales profession is so needy. Or 2, you go, now I've got the room that I need to negotiate a better deal because the rep I'm talking to is willing to do anything. So for us sales professionals, we have to understand this. That yes, we have this desire to win that comes above almost anything. But we have this really cool, chill, sexy indifference, as Jason Bateman would say, right? We know that we can help. We invest the time and effort, but we're also cool walking away. And that indifference leads to winning many more times over than if we're needy and look like we just were willing to do anything for a deal. If you're willing to walk away, people then want to do business with you. You're like, well, wait a minute. No, we could be a good fit. And that's when all those things happen there.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So what's the second problem a lot of people have?
Yeah. So the second problem, and it's funny, every SaaS person watching this is going to get really mad the second. But it's this idea that everybody wants to see your demo and your pitch, right? And SaaS companies are the easiest for us to joke around about and talk about, Austin. But it's this idea of you get into a sales call and you're so excited that somebody's finally there on the call. And you start showing them everything. So you feature dump all over the place without actually knowing what they want. So literally this happened. So this happens to me all the time, but it happened like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. But there was a tool that I really wanted to understand how to use because I thought it could help us. But the sales pro just dove into a demo without asking me, why did I want to use this certain technology that really pieced together some bunch of AI stuff? But he just showed me everything, and half the stuff he showed me didn't apply to the use case that I actually wanted to use it for. And so I just sat back and was like, this is just a really bad experience. And I don't know if we're going to move forward. I pulled myself out of the entire process because I was just like, this sucked. So let's go back to this point, which is don't just feature dump. Whether you're SaaS, whether you're a service, feature dumping is when you just say all the things that you do for a buyer. Don't do that. Instead, find out why they booked time with you, because most people don't book time unless they feel like they've got a problem. So we have to understand, what is the problem that they've got? How can we learn more about what solving that problem means for them? And then how can we show them the right parts of our solution, our product, to get them to go, oh, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a great point, because maybe their needs are way more specialized and not in that like top stuff that, you know, most people need that, okay, we're just going to go through the demo. But then you spend 30 minutes and you don't even hit that point they need.
Right.
Like you said, they're going to be out. So.
Yeah. Understanding what they actually care about and focusing attention, good idea. Showing everybody everything, bad idea.
All right. So you gave us a good 2 problems. What is that third?
Yeah.
What is that third and final problem?
So listen, the third and final problem that most organizations have is you might be recording your sales calls, whether they're on the phone, whether they're on video. You might be doing that. And if you're one of those companies right now that is recording the calls, good. This is great. This is exactly what we want. If you're not, step one is start recording said calls, okay? But here's the catch. You have to watch them. It's one thing to record sales calls. It's another to record sales calls, watch yourself, watch your team, watch each other, and learn from what's happening. So when we go back to the first 2 points I made, do you know why I was able to do that, Austin? Because I've watched flipping sales calls, whether they be internal or our clients. And what did I see? The second that people started getting needy, they started losing and they started offering crazy discounts, right? The next thing, the second that I watched a sales call of somebody that we worked with, I saw all they did was pitch. Then I looked back to a company that we're partnered with and look at their sales process. And what do? They pitch. And you can see these in these sales calls where it is like your when somebody starts to feature dump, it's like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where they open Pandora's box and everybody's face melts who looks into it. That's what happens to your deal. But we never would have known these things and not been able to help the clients or ourselves if we didn't spend time watching the calls. So when organizations don't record calls or they record them and don't watch them, you're never going to get better. And then marketing teams, this is free chicken. If you watch the sales calls, you actually understand what buyers are asking your salespeople, which just makes you more buyer-centric. So again, those 3 main problems, right? People are too needy, okay? As soon as you watch a call, you're going to see it, and you've got to stop it. It's hard to stop. We want to make people happy usually. Well, we got to stop that stuff. No more being needy. The second thing is we have got to ditch the pitch. We've got to become great communicators. We've got to become great discoverers of what's actually happening and cut through all the other BS and just find out what they need and how you might be able to help them. And third, the only way to do that stuff, watching the sales team execute the tasks of sales. Once you do that, you actually start to eliminate more problems that do come up in the selling process.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Chris. We really appreciate you sharing your knowledge today, and we'll see you next time.
Cool.
Now, when you hear Chris talk about it, it can sound so simple because he's so good at describing it, but these are actually so easy to fall into. So remember to watch those sales calls and see if you find yourself going through those issues, and then do what you can to correct it.
And if you want to talk to me, the easiest way is go right to impactplus.com, click that book a meeting with the coach, and you're going to get this bald, smiling face.
We'll see you next time.